Hello there.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, chicken nugget.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, imbecile.
Hello.
All rise and like, subscribe, and bang the gavel, baby.
Order in this freaking court, please. All
Thank
right.
you.
We're here. One more.
We need one more, Creed. One more person to become a member today. And then we get a new emoji.
For the new emoji. That was quite a... all right. So members only later today, 6 o'clock. Already pimping out other streams. 2 seconds into it. But there's a good reason for it. Members only streams are pretty cool. Pretty fun. Got some good news, got some bad news for you, but first we'll start here. Welcome if you're new here. We got a case. We do chases and cases 5 days a week here on this old channel. What we're doing here is bouncing around a different Zoom court, even though, like Mikey just pointed out, we're all in person here, but yet I guess still Zoom court, kind of.
Still on Zoom. Still can watch it. Plenty of those.
So first piece of good news, we've got kind of anti-harassment court for you, which we're famous for on Fridays. And it's been like 3 weeks without it, and I've missed it. That's good news. Second piece of good news, she's wearing proper attire in court today.
Oh, so no crotch shot.
So we won't be looking up her dress today.
Well,
On accident, of course. Not that we wanted to, by any means. But Mikey just told me a little piece of info about Judge Kim, huh?
Yeah, I saw Don over on the Discord. If you're not a member of Discord, you might want to join that. Had broke the news that he had revealed today that he will no longer be doing Zoom court, but in person. Now, to me, that means people have to show up for court. But I still think there may be cameras,
however,
of some sort.
Didn't you say that Sarge had said that everything's been deleted off?
They deleted off his channel, yeah.
So, you're welcome. We only have the best sponsors on this channel.
Top notch.
I mean, very easily, obviously, could continue doing that. I will I will be shocked if they don't continue. And the reasoning behind that is I watched a pretty cool video of, and I think there was a Q&A between Judge Kim. I think it was. Anyways, and they were talking about why they are such big proponents for Zoom court and or why to broadcast it on YouTube, and went through all of the reasoning behind that. However, I bet there's a lot of flack and a lot of extra things that they have to deal with on a daily basis. I bet you that is a direct result from being on YouTube.
So here's I mean, that's it's Friday night, bud.
Right.
Oh wow,
Ready.
Up here like this too. Here's the thing, Ulysses, good to see you, bud. Are they going to transport all these, kids to the courtroom? Is that how that works? I mean, because it's a lot.
Know.
They see a lot of people. Maybe, just maybe, they'll be in person, but everything else will still be zoomed in.
We're good and ready to get moving. I don't know. That's some pretty big news if we lose Judge Kim and all that. But we'll see how that plays out. Let's start here, see if anything's going on. If not, we'll jump right over to what Mikey's got for us. Let's one of our most favorite courtrooms.
I feel like when we're watching this, man, I mean, it's just got the feel
Which case did you want to comment, Polito, Your Honor?
of the classic People's Court. when you
It
see them
really does.
come busting in like that.
What you are witnessing is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending.
Pedro Aragon.
And the other thing I like about this too is that it's almost like we're sitting high above in the judge's chair.
Yeah.
Down on all.
And this lady just come in with a bunch of hot sandwiches for sale.
Wouldn't doubt with a crowd like that. Now they have a taco truck out there, fresh open face sandwiches.
Oh my god, walking
open face sandwich food truck.
Walking
Speaking
tacos.
of which, we might be going to Food Truck Friday today and bringing you guys along with us. The first one of the season here at Fountain Park.
Wow, they let him sit down and then kicked him out immediately.
Yeah, I told you.
They didn't even get nothing started. Go sit your ass down.
Anyways, people scored all right. Typically we try not to talk too much. That doesn't work out very well. I'm sorry. So, you know.
Apparently, this judge doesn't like to talk either today.
Interesting. I don't know. Because listen, we're dealing with minors there. With very sensitive things. I mean, we were on that yesterday for 5 minutes, and it was an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, it is. It's tough. I mean,
Maybe.
Yeah, a lot of those kids are just little jerks, but some of them are, they need real help. They need people to advocate for them. And
yeah, no doubt. Hello, mate.
Mavis is here over on the Facebook and sweet tea tamales.
Those weren't sandwiches. Those are corn wrapped tamales.
Oh, I used to buy those all the time from the Mexican store.
The gas station, right? Or convenience store?
Well, it was a Mexican store. Mm-hmm. It's about the size of half a garage.
Yes.
And if you asked nicely, they'd pull out this big tray from underneath the register full of tamales. And you could purchase one. And if you got there on the right day, chimichangas, baby. The delicious.
Did they ladle their drinks too?
Come on, Creed. Of course they did.
All right, let's jump over to what you got. Not a lot.
All right, go ahead. We're just doing some swearing in over here right this second. So
that's all right. Let's go to this.
Yes, I am.
All right, if you could go ahead and just have to do that. Sometimes I forget, and some people don't want to go forward. Go ahead and tell me what happened. Start from the most recent event. Work backwards. Don't be too vague. Like, don't say she called me and all. Yeah. Give me a little bit of detail, and an idea of the date too. So
you need a corn dog in your life.
Okay, so
I missed out yesterday.
In court, I need this injunction because I fear for my safety. And most recently, she has violated the TPO. The respondent has instructed the roommate, Harold
TPO is a protection order.
Stalk, file, false report, and slander me. I have a conversation recorded on May 14th, 2020, between the respondent and the roommate, Harold, that substantiates my claim. I began recording myself on the way to the bathroom because I didn't know what Harold might.
Give me some dates. Give me a date that something happened. What's happened recently? A specific date something happened.
May 14th.
May 14th. Okay.
With the recording where she's instructed, and this was a violation of the TPO instruction. Okay.
May 14th.
Yes.
Who is in this recording?
I love her.
It is Harold Lippitt and the respondent, Brianna.
Stephen O'Dell.
You have
new photo.
Recording of that conversation?
Yes, I do.
No, were you part of that conversation? Were you there? You can't be secretly recording people. You can't use that. What else? You cannot. You're not a party to that conversation. You cannot, and I urge you, do not record people's conversations. If you're not,
I was on my way to the bathroom, Your Honor, and I was recording myself.
Okay,
for
my safety.
You obviously recorded a conversation with her and somebody else.
It picked it up. It did pick up the conversation.
Yeah, I can't listen to that. All right, so go ahead. Something where if you recorded something and you're a party to it, that's fine. But I can't listen to something where you were not a party to a conversation.
Certainly
Okay.
appropriate attire
So
for.
then moving
for-
forward, on
Judge
May
Alex likes it.
2nd, she instructed her sister to book the vacant room that occupies is across from me. And
Please.
this is where the house and the group members of the house post messages. Harold mentions the respondent addresses her by B.
Okay, hold on one second. Hold on one second. Where did you live? Because this is your petition says you live in Cobb County.
Georgia.
That's where I have my mail to, but I'm temporarily staying here in Fulton County.
Hello to all of our new convoy friends. God rides a Harley. Always good to see you, buddy.
Those guys are out there and doing
Whose
the
house
Lord's
is it?
work.
This is it is Pad Split. I'm not sure who's the host, but it's a company called Pad Split,
Yeah.
and this is like a rooming house.
I got you. Yeah, a lot of people use that. So okay. So, and they match you
And
up. with the rest
technically, I can't use their address is what is a part of the agreement.
to get mail. So
I believe the word was technically is what she
so
was
you
looking
have a trouble.
for.
Now, I want to know what trouble you had with Miss Heath. Nobody
Are they
else.
former lovers, you
Miss
think,
Heath.
maybe?
No, I mean, if you had a problem with somebody else, her sister, her brother, whatever, I don't want to hear it because this one, you and
I'd
Miss
watch.
Heath.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to lead up to. There's multiple dates of events. April 18th, the respondent, she placed a grill outside my bedroom, and it was a rotten grill can. It had maggots inside of it, and it
Grill?
was bringing
Like a cookie.
that had
grill?
maggots inside the can and cat food. Whatever it was, it had a horrible smell, and I could not sleep, and it unsettled me until I just discarded it. And then between April
Okay,
5th,
I'm gonna interrupt you because I gotta have.
She sleeps next to
Tell me
her
what you want me-
grill.
How do you know she did this?
She put a grill outside her window.
I have her
That
standing
had
outside. I have a
rotten
picture of her standing
cat
outside. I
food.
took a photo of her standing outside my room door, the patio, where the grill was placed. And then
Wait, so do you have
It's
proof
good,
that
though.
she did it, or was
To
she
the
just
point
standing
and
there?
animated. I love it.
I have proof that she was standing there. I don't have actual proof that she physically put it there.
Are there other people that live here?
Yes, there are other people that live here.
So, okay, so what do you have proof that she did? I want what she did, proof what she
Okay.
did, not what you may think.
A stinky can of dog food.
So
Yeah,
then let me
what
move
about
to
April
the
the-
April.
Maggots,
This
I
is the
couldn't
reason
sleep.
why I had petitioned the
Damn
court.
maggots.
You have a date
on
on here that says like April, hold on, let me look, April the 4th.
April 4th. Yes,
All right.
Your Honor.
What happened then?
She woke up angry that I continued to show no interest in her, and but gave my interest to a man instead. She became angry in her anger around 8:30. I think it was around 8:30 p.m. I
So
was
she
in the
wanted
kitchen
her.
preparing a meal. With my back turned, she threw water on me.
But
And when I turned to look at her,
Sure it
she
was water?
moved in and elbowed me away from the counter near the sink where she had just obtained the water. As I proceeded to move,
Don't read this to me, because I can read. I want you to just tell me what happened. We're just having a conversation.
okay.
no, she's
Well,
reading.
I
for the
actually
script.
just wrote it down to make sure that I got all the pertinent information in there. So then as I proceeded when I grabbed my phone to report her, that's when she quickly regressed. Then on March,
You know, she got a
said
pop in
the
IG and TikTok
stuff that I
there.
actually seen her do.
Yeah,
So
but you know
on
that
March
she-
10th,
So you so
okay, so on March 10th,
Okay.
she
Couldn't sleep at
the
all last
respondent
night.
drove her vehicle into my parked car.
Whoa.
She claimed that it was an accident. This occurred around this, and this was after she had made sexual advances towards me, and I rejected her the night before. I
There it
moved
is.
in March.
Did you see her hit
Well,
your
we've already
car?
established that a second ago.
I didn't actually see her hit my car, but she has owned up to it
She did
Your
say she
Honor.
would
She
hit his
also,
ass.
Mr. Honor, I have a
Did she
picture
tell
of
you
her
I did on
standing
purpose,
next to the
like
car. if
fried
that'll
green
help.
tomatoes to Wanda thing? You ever see that movie where she runs in, Kathy Bates runs into the car? Or did, I mean,
The
so
judge is
she
like,
said, yeah,
tell me exactly
accidentally hit
what
your
she did sexually.
car. I mean, how bad was the
How do you
damage?
know
It
she
looked
was
like she kind
hitting
of was
on you?
backing up and hit it.
Robbie,
or-
Rob, happy Friday,
no,
buddy.
it's on the side of my vehicle.
Like
And
I mean, she's super cute. Why
I
would
don't
she
know if
turn
it was
her
a
down?
side swipe or whatever, but my car was parked.
Okay,
was
all
fine.
right. Sorry, I keep interrupting, but when you say something, it makes me have a question. So, all right, go ahead.
Okay, so again, I had just moved in and I was leading up to the date that I had just moved in, which was March 9th. And that was the night she made sexual advances towards me and I rejected her. And then the next day, my vehicle was damaged.
She's talking up
Okay.
a storm down
So
there.
then,
She admitted
Mhm.
that she did that.
I can't wait to hear her talk.
I think you make a
you
nice
did that?
couple. I'm sorry.
I'd like
after
to
I
see.
saw the damage to my vehicle and asked who did it, yes.
Me.
Okay, so now which other
All right.
date we have here?
Yeah,
Unless she
something
opens her
else in
mouth
here
in a
says
minute and she's a
April
complete psycho.
10th.
This
You got
lady's
April
missing.
10th
Ow!
and April 12th. What did she do on April 10th?
So on April 10th,
You're a rocker.
she stalked me
fuck.
outside my patio door and stood there blowing smoke in my face.
Oh,
You were outside on your
how
patio?
dare you?
From the grill?
I was standing by the patio door.
She's burning the
Okay,
maggots.
she was
I mean,
smoking.
barbecuing the maggots.
So we are both outside on the patio. I'm trying to figure out how she blew it in your face if you're right there.
She turned and blew. So when I say blew it in my face, meaning blew it towards me, so it's same difference.
Is that
Well, I mean, no, were
against
y'all
the law?
standing there talking, or I mean, that's what I'm trying to-
No,
Were
no.
you inside?
no. And this
Judge
is
has a lot of
after
common sense. I love it.
took
Yes.
measures to
Scissor
keep
me
my distance
timbers.
from her.
Okay.
After the incident that occurred in the kitchen where she threw water
Real
on me
hard
and
to
then
get
she
to taking her
elbowed
to
me.
court.
Did she say why she threw water on you?
Would anybody say why they would throw water on you? No, Your Honor, she did not say. But I figured,
Damn, she might as well say, Judge, what a stupid
figured
ass
it out.
question.
Like some people y'all are like,
Judge, do
so you
your
didn't
job,
feel
you
nothing to
idiot.
water on you, or do you? Here's the
Asking
thing.
stupid
I mean, if y'all were having
questions.
an
she
argument,
was the only one
if
in the
y'all were
kitchen.
talking, let me finish. So if
Okay.
you're sitting there having an argument and she's got a glass of water or something, she's like, okay, so you say she randomly you're in the kitchen and she randomly came
Like
in
that
and threw
girl on
water
a 90
on
Day
you?
Fiance. Did you see that? With
I
the-
was in the
in
kitchen.
her face.
Mm-hmm.
My back was turned.
The wine.
She threw water on me.
All right, so was she right there behind you? So you know.
Brianna
it's
don't know
definitely
she's
her,
on
like
mute,
somebody
right?
walked
Yes.
up to her.
Yeah, she does. She
Okay.
does.
And
That's
you
why
don't
she
know
had
why
to
she did it. Had
little
y'all been
bit of-
arguing? Was this a joke? That's what I'm trying to
That's
figure
what I had mentioned. She woke up angry, Your Honor.
out.
And that's the
Okay,
part
but
that you.
you're reading and I've read. That's why I'm asking you pointed questions because I don't need you reading this to me. I've already read it. That's what I'm
Just
trying
keeps
to figure
reading
out.
her script. in
No,
front of
this
her.
is other
Mhm.
stuff that's not on there because I didn't put that in there.
All
So
right,
Get
what
ready.
happened
That's
on
what
April
anti-harassment
10th? She
course
stalked
all
you. So
about.
what is so? You're calling April 10th stalking you by her standing on the patio smoking. You said April
All
10th she
began.
stalked you. So what is the
Facebook,
stalking behavior?
please.
The stalking behavior is
Like and share.
like ongoing stuff. Like if she parks
because
outside.
I made it clear to her that I did not wish to be in her presence, Your Honor.
Hmm.
And so that's why she stalked me that day.
Hey, do you
And
think
she had
was in
made,
the
We're
night?
out
she
there,
had,
she was outside. Said,
She woke up in a bad mood.
you're being a little too broad. I'm
Maybe
trying
she
to
thought she was on
understand
fire.
what happened.
She
So
threw
just
the water
listen to
on
my
her.
question and don't
Mhm.
interrupt me. All right?
Okay.
You're there. She's on your patio smoking, blow smoke, and it goes towards you. How much other contact did she have with you on April the 10th? Besides that,
then I will have to go with the text messages that she had made between, and that was the date that I was giving you, the several text messages to my phone from April 5th through April 24th.
hold
She
on,
sent-
hold on. You didn't answer my question. how much more interaction did you have with her on April the 22nd?
Oh, physical interaction? I don't recall.
We had sex 3
Right.
times that day, Your Honor.
Now, over here, April the 12th.
You heard her say that she woke up
She
in a
texted
bad
you
mood,
one
right?
time?
Yeah, I'm trying to
Went
figure this
outside
out. Yeah,
And then it says
none
she
of it
texted-
makes any
she
sense.
sent
another
Are they
text to
living
my phone.
together?
And then she
Not
just
living
changed it
together?
up after that
And
question, like she wanted to
April
change.
5th,
Let's move
April-
on to the
I'm
text
reading the
message.
petition. It says on April 12th, 2022, she sent another text to my phone.
And that's
I
the
mean,
point
she
that I'm
said
trying to
there
make
she's
to
staying
you,
in a
Your Honor.
rooming house
I'm
there,
trying to
but
get
was
you
she
so I
living
can
with Miss
understand. So follow me.
T
Yes.
at one
How many
point?
times did she text you on April the 12th?
Okay, so if you'll give me a moment
I
to
just need to
pull
know.
that up, I can give you how many times because I gave you a
God, I
multiple
hope Judge
date
Alex has got
and I
something to
put them all
read.
in there and that the
No.
text.
Hold on, hold on.
No, the text messages came outside of the.
Hold on.
Uh-oh. Starting to get
Stop
off the rails.
interrupting me. I need a number of how many times she texts you April 12th and how many times she texts you on April the 5th. And if she texts you on the 10th, I need to know how many times
Subgrouper
on
lips.
each day she texts you. Right now, I want you to give me a number. If I have more questions after
1,
that,
2, 3. There's 3.
3 times on the 10th or
No, between those dates you gave.
okay, between April.
Your Honor,
so
she
the-
farted in my general
April
direction.
12th, she texts you 3
Made
times.
me smell it.
2.
She texts you twice.
Mm-hmm.
Is the smoke
Okay.
thing really a,
All right.
a thing?
You want to go ahead and
Come
share your screen and let me see a text or something?
Ooh,
Post text?
yes. Yeah, do it. Oh, no, that's
on.
not.
That's.
No,
do you
honey.
not know what you're doing, honey?
Oh,
No,
Yeah. Oh no! No! God, no!
oh, that is.
No! Son of a bitch!
How dare you!
Why are they doing this to us?
Oh,
Oh! My God. How will I sleep tonight?
oh no, you did.
Can you show me them text messages? Sure. Go ahead. Read them all you
here's
want,
my
Judge.
phone. So, yeah.
What do you think?
Oh my God!
Big. And that, my friends, is why sometimes. All right, so it was
We don't have
live.
to explain that
No,
again.
no.
It has nothing to do.
It was live. And in order for us to watch it, we had to back up some.
Back it up a little bit. I bet you that. Yep, they cut it,
They cut it and pulled it.
and as soon as they're done, then
It goes away.
maybe that's why they cut it. Brianna,
Without-
they fell out on accident.
Oh my goodness.
You can't, Adam. It's gone. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, that's what happens.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and we run into that. That's the game we play because
Yeah.
these aren't still there. See, Brent, we're trying to have a good time. People come in, they step on our toes. How the hell are we supposed to live now?
We got a case this over. No, I'm just kidding.
Shut her down. You son of a-
Yeah. All right, Mark, we're back on it here. God, we'll just pick up the pieces and move on like it didn't happen.
We'll all cry tonight, but
Mikey's right though. That is part of doing this. That's one fun thing I think about this channel is doing everything live. If we're gonna run across certain things and it happens. I mean, it's all part of it. But listen, if we weren't live, we would have never seen the pee in the cup.
Yeah.
Those go away instantly too. The minute that they stop.
Creep, you want to jump from Dirty Court?
Yeah,
However, we're in Licking County.
That you
ready
No,
did
to go.
knowingly,
hell yeah,
with the purpose
Judge
to deprive
David
the owner of property
Stanford.
valued less than $1,000, obtained or exerted control over that property without consent. Commonly known as theft, first-degree misdemeanor, up to 180 days, up to $1,000 fine. How do you wish to plead?
Not guilty.
Okay.
No, again, Brooklyn, when they stop the live feed,
It's gone.
the video automatically goes away.
That's the whole key with what we're doing here.
You also
Yeah,
have
you have
to
a
get it
case
Why you can.
where it's alleged that on or about March the 23rd of
Don't
this
blame
year, you were operating a red Saturn View on Thornwood Drive south near State Route 16.
Saturn?
Wait, driving a
State
Saturn?
Route 16 and within the village of Granville while under a license forfeiture. It's alleged that you have at least 2 prior convictions for that type
Made
of
in
offense in the preceding
1993?
3 years. So what that means is that's a 4th-degree misdemeanor. It's up to 30 days, $250 fine, and up to a 1-year suspension of your license. How do you wish to plead?
Not guilty.
Me too. That was like a bad breakup. Seriously, that was like.
And
we
then
almost
the
got
other 2
laid.
matters are you have a case
I'll be
with
laying
Judge
in bed
George where you were
thinking
about
supposed
that
to appear for a trial.
That was like we were buying drinks all night for this girl. You know what I mean? And we're like, this is happening.
Still in the deal, baby.
No,
And then
the warrant's
as
been out
it
longer
was
than
time
that
to
because your
leave-
attorney is already withdrawn on that. Let's see here.
Sorry, I'm recovering.
Looks like that was scheduled on April the 20th. Anyway, your attorney has withdrawn as counsel of record. So right now you're not represented by an attorney, but you are eligible to ask for court-appointed counsel again. But for now, all I'm going to do is set up
Gone
bond
off
for
of
you.
theirs, but we
And we'll
have
get
it.
that set back over to
Theirs
Judge
is gone.
George. And then lastly, you've got a case with me from 2019, traffic case. But the allegation at this point is that you're in contempt of the court's order to perform 20 hours of
Denise,
community
we heard we
service
talked
within
about it on
90
the open of the
days.
show. That's,
Now, I
let's
don't
see if they
know
still do
that you've
YouTube
ever
now.
actually had an opportunity
Hope
to
so.
address
With
the contempt,
Just wait and see.
which means we're going to treat this like an arraignment. And you can either admit you're in contempt for not doing the hours or you can deny it. If you admit, it's like pleading guilty, and I'll decide what the punishment should be for not doing it. The worst that I could do to you is give you 30 days and fine you $250 and assess court costs. If you deny, that's like
On
pleading not
Grindr.
guilty, in which case I'll set a bond for you today. We'll go ahead and we'll set it for a contested hearing, and you're eligible to ask for the court to appoint an attorney to represent you. All right?
Judge Alex.
So how do you want to do it? You want to admit or deny being in contempt?
Deny.
Liar! You were in contempt. You didn't show up, bud.
All right.
Hopefully we'll recover and we'll pull through.
I don't know. That's a pretty good case, man. I mean, a barbecue with cat food, maggots, can't sleep because there's a bar.
She blew smoke in my face and then threw water on me in the kitchen.
I'm thinking that lady
Okay,
may
so,
not even have the talk because
basically all that's left to do is set bonds. Anything you want to say before I set them?
Yes, Your Honor. I've been in Fairfield County Jail for the past month, and I was just hoping that you might give me an OR bond so that way I can go back to court and, well, not go back to court, go back to work and be able to take care of my mom because she's sick.
I'm in court so much that.
All right. Well, here's what we're going to do, Mr. Guttridge. I can't release you on your own recognizance, at least not on all of them. On the new theft case, it's going to be $2,500, cash surety or 10%. On the new traffic charge, that's going to be an OR bond. On the case with Judge George, when you failed to appear, he issued the warrant. He set bond as an OR, so I'll go ahead and set that as an OR. But the other one's from 2019. It's too old to do an OR. So I'm going to go ahead and set another $2,500 cash surety or 10%. Now, the ones that are new will be randomly assigned to a judge set for a trial. The ones that were already assigned, like the one for me for the contempt, the one for Judge George for the traffic, we'll get new court dates on that. I would just strongly recommend you get an application for counsel, get that filled out.
Yes, very
much. You have
so.
Mr. Brandon Keys on another case that's pending. You had a jury trial scheduled for yesterday. Instead of doing a warrant because of your failure to appear, he filed a motion to continue, which we're going to go ahead and grant.
Good to see you got around to Harley.
If you want him to handle everything, just put his name at the top of your application, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Nelson. You may, or Guttridge, I'm sorry. You may go with the officer.
Yeah, he can go nowhere. He's been there a month and he couldn't break with the 2,500.
All right, next we have Sarah Slagle.
Swingle. And
Good afternoon. Are you Miss Slagle?
Hey,
I am. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Miss Slagle. Do you understand your rights in court today?
I do.
Would it be funny
You
if
have
they
two
appeared
matters that we
from
need to
behind the
address.
curtain,
You
kind
have,
of like
like
it's a show.
It's the Tonight Show with Miss Swaggle. What did she do? What do you think? Drugs? The drugs?
You have a warrant for failing to appear for a pretrial just last week. Actually, yeah, or maybe Monday. Again, it's recently issued, and the court was provided information. You actually did appear. It was just that it was late, and nobody knew that you were there or something. That's all right.
Right.
We got
Yes, yes.
But we got you now, girl. She seems
you're really going out there.
What is your current address?
Let's do it.
8650 Linville Road, Newark, Ohio 43056.
Now, do you actually live there, or is that just a mailing address?
No, I live there.
Okay. Are you employed?
Yes, I have 2 jobs.
What do you do?
La Paloma and Knockout Smoothie Cafe. He just opened it. It's part of the underground gym.
You want a smoothie?
Knockout smoothie.
So I'm there 2 or 3 days a week, and then I'm at La Paloma
Fearless?
3 days a week.
Howdy.
The one on 79?
Topless girl
Yes.
serving smoothies all hours of the day.
That's right. The later it gets.
All right,
the
I'm going to
more
release you on your own
pressure up in the
recognizance on
left
that
foot.
case.
You have
Reflect
a-
that, or
In the drive-thru.
order that the matter be referred back to Judge George, and also have Attorney Burkett served with a copy of that entry. I'm thinking she already knows that you were arrested on that warrant. Okay,
You've
next
answered
we
us
have
way
the new
behind.
traffic case in which you got pulled over this morning at 4:00 in the morning over on Locust Street. You've been
4
charged with
o'clock.
displaying fictitious registration. That's a 4th-degree misdemeanor. It's up to 30 days and a $250 fine. How do you want to plead?
Not guilty.
All righty.
She kind of laughed about that herself. She said, "This is so outlandish."
Folk
Not
got
guilty.
assistance saying it. Our guy, welcome.
Okay,
Happy
if
Friday.
you want Ms. Burkett to handle that for you as well, you'll
All
need to
right.
fill out a new application for court-appointed counsel. Make sure you put her name at the top.
What's she doing out at 4 o'clock in the morning? Smoothie's got to be made that
The
damn
assault
early.
case is going to go back to Judge George, as I mentioned. Ms. Burkett will get notice. She'll
Yeah, on the way to the
turn
gym,
notify you.
bruh.
New case gets randomly assigned until she or another attorney gets involved.
So she
All
had
notices
an
are going to go
assault
directly
case.
to
She
you.
had a
So make
case
sure
she
your
was
address
supposed
is
to
good on
be
your bond paperwork.
to
You have any other
earlier this
questions
week.
today?
She ended up messing
No,
up.
Your Honor. Thank you.
Very well, Ms.
Pulled
Slagle.
for
You may
her
go to the officer. Thank you.
And now she's
Thank
in
you.
the loose cow.
If somebody reminds me my Saturn story, I will tell that during the members
All right, next we have
only
Anthony
If you remember,
Strominger.
ask me about it. I'll tell you.
Yes, Your Honor. Here I am.
Now that
Are you Mr. Strominger, sir?
Yes, sir, I am.
And Mr. Strominger, you understand your rights in court today?
Yes, I do, sir.
Did you receive a copy of your citation?
I did, Your Honor.
And do you understand you've been charged with operating a vehicle while
This guy's
impaired,
an ass
operating a
kisser.
vehicle while impaired,
You're welcome.
refusing to submit to a chemical test, driving under a 12-point license suspension, and driving outside the marked lanes of the roadway?
12 points and you're still
Yes,
driving?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, it's alleged that OVI would be your 3rd offense within a 10-year period.
Hot
For that
damn.
reason, you're looking at up to 1 year in the county jail, up to a $2,750 fine, and a license suspension of up to 12 years. There are, however, mandatory minimum penalties associated with that charge.
12
Those
years.
include at least a 2-year license suspension, at least an $850 fine, and a mandatory minimum 60-day jail term. Furthermore, if the vehicle that you were operating is registered in your name, which it does not appear to
Somebody
be,
remind
so
me
it's
what to
not
say.
relevant
I'll
to
be
you. That being said, the 12-point suspension is a first-degree misdemeanor. That's up to 180 days, $1,000 fine. Any
Done.
jail term imposed on that charge is required to be served consecutively to any time on the underlying
Mr.
OVI.
Husband.
And then the marked lanes
Especially
violation is
here.
a minor misdemeanor. How do you wish to plead to these charges, sir?
Not guilty.
Not guilty, Your Honor.
And what is your current address?
7982 Wagner Run Drive, Blacklick, Ohio, 43004.
Are you employed?
Yes, sir. I own a landscape business.
And what's the name of your business?
AJ Scapes Landscaping, LLC.
And you're based out of Franklin County?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let me take a quick look at the file, and then we're going to talk about your bond, so bear with me.
I like that he claimed he was not guilty, even though he has been arrested 3 times prior for this. But this time, you know what? It was a total frame job. 100% frame job. His insurance got to be through the roof. He must not have insurance. There's no way driving without insurance had to be one of those things.
You're okay. Thank you.
He's a danger to society. Take his license, period. He's going to do some time, mandatory 60 days. But is that enough?
All right, so without getting into what may or may not have happened in the early hours of this morning, because what you're saying is being recorded and could be used against you, is there anything you want to say before I set your bond?
Yes, Your Honor. I was driving home from Newark 21st Street. I was at my cousin's house, and it was early morning, and I was supposed to stay there. I own a landscape business, so I had to just felt like I had to go. And it was early mornings, and I could barely keep my eyes open. Your Honor, my mother, she's under dementia, and she can barely keep her house together. And the first of the month it's coming upon us, and my mom's everything to me. And without my savability without giving her the help for the rent and the mortgage, then I'm afraid she might be behind. Your Honor, please, Your Honor, I'm asking for an overrecognizance, and whatever you can do for that, I'll follow every terms and everything you need me to do.
I'll cut your grass.
House arrest, whatever, Your Honor. I just need to be with my mother to do that, Your Honor.
Well, Mr. Strominger, based on what I see here in the court file, as well as the two previous and very recent convictions, I can't release you on your own recognizance today. I'm going to set your bond at $2,500. I'll make it a cash surety or a 10% bond, but I'm also going to provide that, number one, you're not to consume any alcohol or drugs while the bond is in place, and number two, if you are able to post that bond, you will report to the Licking County Municipal Court Adult Probation Department immediately for the installation of a SCRAM unit on your ankle. That's an alcohol monitoring device, as I'm sure you're well aware. That will verify your compliance with my abstinence order. This case will be randomly assigned and set for a trial by jury. You have an automatic right to trial by jury under these circumstances.
Out of 5, I'm guessing
Until
6 ratings
an attorney
on
gets involved,
Facebook for
all notices will go directly to you. So make sure your address is correct on your bond paperwork. If a lawyer gets involved, all the notices go through the attorney, who in turn notifies you. And it's critical and important that you maintain constant contact with your attorney so that you can be prepared to resolve the matter in a timely fashion. This is a pretty big deal, Mr. Strominger, so treat it as such. Do you have any questions?
Sure. Yes, Your Honor, I just got to say something.
Go ahead.
I've been going through tremendously so much recently, and I got so much in my head, and sometimes I don't think about things I do, and I just need some help with my mental health, and I just need some help, Your Honor.
Here's what I can tell you, Mr. Strominger. You don't have to wait for your case to be resolved in order to reach out for some assistance in that regard. There are plenty of counseling agencies that are available. As a Franklin County resident, I'm not as a Licking County resident, I'm not as familiar with what's available to you in Franklin County, but I would bet that if you did some internet searching, you could find some counseling services that you'd be able to get involved with immediately. And
I just signed up for WCAP counseling in Gahanna, so it's like right by where I live. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I just lost a lot, like periodically, like real soon, and it weighs on me really heavily. And I just,
good, right?
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my mother. And I let her down, and it just sucks, Your Honor. And I'll do whatever needs to be done, sir.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Strominger. For now, you can go with the officer, and then
did you see what Pamela said she wanted to do to this judge while ago?
We'll see you next time for court. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean,
next you have Joshua Worth.
You're just coming off thirsty now.
We'll let him know, Pamela.
We'll pass it on.
Good afternoon, sir. You Mr. Worth?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Worth, do you understand your rights in court today?
Yes.
Did you receive a copy of the 4 complaints that have been filed against you in this case?
4.6 out of 5, Loud.
Did you get a chance to look at them, read them, and understand what it is you've been charged with?
Yes.
You've been charged with criminal damaging in count 1. That's an M2. That's up to 90 days and a $750 fine. You've been charged with criminal mischief in the next count. That's an M3. That's up to 60 days and a $500 fine. Count 3 is domestic violence threat. So they're not alleging that you caused or attempted to cause physical harm. They're claiming that you threatened to do so. That's up to 30 days and a $250 fine. And you've also been charged in the final count with disorderly conduct as a 4th-degree misdemeanor with the same maximum possible penalties. So do you understand that's what the charges are?
Yes.
And how do you wish to plead to those charges?
No contest.
Now, a no contest plea doesn't admit you're guilty, but admits what they say happened is correct, true, and accurate, which means the statements in the court file support these charges. I'm going to find you guilty. So if you don't want to be found guilty, you need to enter.
Wish more people would admit.
Well, sir, the person that is filing these charges on me, I'm still dating her. Like, she's still my girlfriend, and I still try. And I tried to get her to drop the charges, but she said that they were picked up by the state.
Well, that's true, and you may want to be careful about trying to take any steps to try to get somebody to not pursue prosecution, because theoretically you could be charged with intimidation.
Oh no! I wasn't trying to intimidate her or nothing. We're just dating. We're still
my
dating.
girlfriend.
She's still my girlfriend.
Bless you.
She's my hottie.
Yeah.
Well, as I said, I mean, if you plead no contest and I accept your pleas and convictions,
Well, then,
I told her to drop the charges.
yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
What's your current address?
My current address, 17
25 Watson Road. It's an E.
Is there any chance
apartment
he
number for
doesn't
that?
live with his girlfriend right now?
H.
H is in Harry.
Like legit.
Yes.
And you say
He
that's
lived
in
with
Heath.
her at her place.
Yes.
And what's your zip there?
I think 43056, I think.
Are you employed, Mr. Worth?
Yes.
And where do you work?
La Llama Concrete in Westerville. I've been there for like 5 years now.
Okay.
10 years.
That was my next question was going to be how long you've been there. Let me take a quick look here at the file, and then we're going to talk about your bond. So bear with me, all right?
All right.
Well, Your Honor, we're in love. I don't know if that's in the paperwork or not. Okay.
She's kind of still my girlfriend, Mr. Honor.
I asked her to drop him. She said she can't because it was a state. Can you talk to the state about this? Or
It is winter after winter after winter here at Lincoln. No doubt. Seriously, there's a trend. Because he's been sleeping under the train.
I mean, hopefully the judge will take into consideration. There's lawns that are not being cut today because AJ is locked up.
Yeah, that 4.6 rating is going to go down.
He used his phone call in jail to call his first client and tell him he's going to be late. Llama.
Hell yeah, let the weekend begin, Billy.
All right. Well, all these offenses are alleged to have occurred on April the 10th. So obviously it's been some time. Where were you when you got arrested yesterday?
I was on my way to my parents' house. On my way to my parents' house. I work with my father.
So were you in a vehicle? You got pulled over. They ran your information. Found
No, I was walking.
Okay.
You were walking?
Yeah.
Okay. And where were you walking?
I was walking to my dad's house.
So, I mean, like physically, where were you? Like on Main Street? On?
I was on Watson Road. Literally right there.
Okay.
Yeah, I was right down the street from my parents' house.
Georgia, you're famous. I saw you on a Law Talk with Mike.
It was like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I saw that.
So what are you doing out at 5 o'clock in the morning?
Well, I was on my way to my parents' house from my girlfriend's house, who is charging me with this.
Well, the state is charging you with this. The police took a report.
The offenses are against her, and I was
Keep
coming
asking
from her
questions,
house,
Mr. Honor.
going to my parents' house, and I work with my father, so that's why I was going to his house.
When was the last time you actually
So
worked?
they just recognized you, knew who you were, and probably ran your information and found out you had warrants?
Yeah, they just ran me. Yeah. Oh,
I
I don't know if they recognized me, but I know that they just stopped me. And
Well,
you know the name of the officer who arrested you?
I do not.
That was 8 hours ago, so he might still be high. I mean, depending on what kind of a day he had.
I don't know why they stopped him, Your Honor. I was just minding my own business. 5 o'clock in the morning, walking through people's yards.
Why are you not working today and you're out at 5 a.m.?
He was going to his dad's house to get a ride.
Right.
All right, here's what we're going to do, Mr. Worth. I'm going to go ahead and release you on your own recognizance on two conditions.
Wow.
Number one, you're not to consume any alcohol or illegal drugs while the bond is in place. Number two, you're not to have any violent contact with Emily Ramsey. So I'm not prohibiting contact completely, but I'm prohibiting any violent contact, which means cops get called based on some sort of domestic complaint. They ultimately end up not filing charges. You could still get your bond revoked and be stuck in the jail till this case gets resolved. You understand?
Okay.
Now, the case will be randomly assigned to a judge and set for a trial.
So in other words, here's your rope,
by mail,
and
the
have a
address
good
that you
weekend.
put down on your bond paperwork. So make sure it's complete and current and correct, including that apartment letter. And then furthermore, you can hire your own attorney if you want. You're eligible to go for court appointed, and you can get an application for that there at the jail. But they're not going to send it in for you now that you're being released. And you know the drill. Do not wait until the day of your trial to deal with
it's getting rowdy in there.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions today, Mr. Worth?
No. Thank you, sir.
Very well. You may go with the officer. Thank you.
Bud, you buy that? He would go. No.
Randy Wagner?
He took like 2 minutes. There was a huge pause for him to describe.
I told you not to answer the fucking danger number. You fucking retard. It's fucking 3 o'clock in the morning. You got 30 seconds to shut the fuck up and turn the light on. Oh, fucking
She's talking on
Lucas.
the phone.
Good. What the fuck did you do today? I fucking went like this and all I can hear was blah, 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 sucker. So I came over here and fucking slammed his ass into the ground and told you, I will punch the shit out of him. Never mind. Hold on to no Bixby. And never talk to mine. Mary's not here today. She went to school with her best friend. Try just gonna give her my shut up. Right, the one that's already here. I was barely punched in my grandpa's phone number.
All right, Ms. Wagner, you've been charged with 2 different criminal offenses:
He's talking to you.
disorderly conduct and criminal trespass.
You better not come back over with that
Both
fucking
misdemeanors in
hairspray.
the 4th
Come
degree.
over with that hairspray. I
And I'm
can't
going to
fucking
enter
see
pleas
your
of not guilty on your behalf and set bond at $2,500, cash sure due 10%. And we'll get this assigned to a judge and set for a trial. You may go with the officer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll see you on Monday.
Get rid of my job. No, I fucking get the fuck away from me, you stupid little bitch. Okay, have a good weekend.
You sure you don't want to release her?
See you Monday.
She's had it. She's done. She just walked up and laughed.
All right.
Oh no, he's not.
Ms. Wagner, I think I took us off the.
He's going to talk to everybody in the courtroom now.
Okay.
Woo! Ladies and
Okay,
gentlemen,
when I call your name, you're going to come up here.
headliner.
First up is going to be Nikumani. I'm sorry, Undungusta. Gutse? I apologize. I'm sure I totally butchered that. Come on up. How do you pronounce your name?
Hello, hello.
And how do you pronounce your last name?
Yes, Ndungutse Ndikumana.
Okay. All right. So we got to go ahead and set a warrant. You have a warrant. We got to set a bond for you because you didn't show up for a trial with Judge George. Looks like, yeah, you did write in. You said, hey, I'm not feeling well.
I believe you might be right, George. Yes.
I think it was Judge Brandt who might have been visiting that day, said too bad. So they didn't give you your continuance, so they issued the warrant. How did you find out you had the warrant?
I came into court first, and then second time, that's when I was sick. I sent in the letter.
Okay. Can you confirm your address for me, please?
4959.
Wow, that was something.
210, Columbus, Ohio, 43229.
All right. What part of town is that? Like east side, north side?
Sorry, it was
south
my
side?
minister.
North side. And do you work?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I work at Mercer's Bergen warehouse.
Okay. And how long do you work there?
She gone.
7 months now.
All right. Did you start off as a temp and then they hired you on directly?
No, I went there.
You went directly? Good.
I like how the judge handled that. Just kind of just.
All right.
You know.
Well, as I would have explained to you back at your arraignment in March, this is a Mark Lanes violation. It's a pretty minor infraction. The maximum penalty is a $150 fine. But because it's been assigned to Judge George, you have to go see him to get it resolved. So they'll set it for a trial.
I'll be
If you wanna
clipping
have a
that.
trial,
Don't you
that's
guys worry
great.
about
Bring all
that.
the evidence that you want the court to hear to consider that day, including any witnesses that you might have. If you decide when you come back to court the next time you want to just plead guilty or no contest, you can do that too. All right. But you do have to come back. All right.
Yeah, we'll
so I'm going to release you on what's called your own recognizance. That just
I
means
like
you're
that
gonna
he said,
sign some more
the
paperwork
judge said,
promising to show up
I'm going to
to
enter a
court
not
dates,
guilty plea.
and they
for
will
you.
send the letter to the Kings Hill Drive address. Any questions?
There's so much going
I'll tell
on.
you what, you may go with the bailiff. Have a good day.
I could
And
hear
that'll
her
bring us
coming.
to-
You know, I was
okay.
like,
Yeah, I wasn't
The guy who's going to win
sure
the
what
case
was.
of the day.
it was like a
George
slow
Taylor,
building
come on up.
roar.
All right, Mr. Taylor, how you doing today?
How you doing, John?
I'm doing all right. Your rights form, please. The one with your initials and stuff. That's the one. Thank you.
Why is it
Okay,
that he
so
does these
your case
walk-up
number is
ones
2011
summer?
TRD 76.
If you're detained,
Judge
maybe
Warren
those are all
Higgins,
detained.
who's now retired, by the way, issued the warrant on February 2nd of 2011.
2011?
Yeah, well, so here's what happened, and I always say this when we have a case where the warrant's been out forever. Either you've
long
been
day.
living a law-abiding life and had no reason to have contact with police for them to find out you had a warrant, or you've been incarcerated someplace. So have you just been leading a good life and stayed away from the police?
No, I
The folk.
had a couple incidents like with driving since then.
That's the truth, Carol.
And the warrant didn't come up?
Sorry that we can't hear these guys.
And the warrant didn't come up?
I'm like a menace on the road, like just growing up, but I got a good job now.
Okay.
And it's like I do like crate work, pallets and stuff.
Where do you work? What's the name of the place where you work?
Pallets. I'm from Canton.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
like tours like.
So you came all the way to, and now
Yes,
you're living in Dover?
Yes, sir.
What is your address now?
136 West.
He was
7th Street.
rubbing his head.
So I need this holder right here in the 0286 in Canton. I never had a license. I was like,
Well, here's what we're going to do today. Number one, I'm going to recall the warrant for your arrest, and I'm going to release you on your own recognizance because you voluntarily appeared. The problem is because it was assigned to Judge Higgins, who, by the way, was succeeded by Judge George. I don't know if you remember being in the other courtroom. No.
172 of you, welcome.
Just never made it.
What a day to join.
What's your zip code out in Dover?
44622. I can't take care of this today. So I probably won't have a ride back up here.
You can't because I don't have the authority because it was assigned to the other judge. All right. Now, this is going to get set relatively quickly. What I strongly recommend that you do before you leave, you have an application for court-appointed counsel there underneath.
Do you want me to see if I can rewind it?
One in your left hand
again.
So we do court-appointed.
To watch that again?
Defender.
Yeah. I mean, if you
Based
can,
not just on how much money you make, but also your expenses. So you may qualify. How many people live in your household?
And they don't save these, so
that
as soon as this is over,
reduces the amount or increases the amount that you can make before.
Can't
you're not
rewind
eligible.
it,
So
and they
I
don't
would fill
save
it out
them.
today. If you get a lawyer, they can try to coordinate all this since you're living out of county. See what I'm saying?
That's all right. We got it.
How'd you get down here today?
I drove.
Yeah.
I know I'm not gonna be able. No way we can knock this out today.
I don't have the authority to do it.
Can you make the court date like on a Monday? Because I know my ride doesn't work on Monday.
Here's
I'll
what
tell you
I'll
what, since we can't,
when you go down and sign
hear-
your bond paperwork.
hardly at
Mr.
all.
Holbrook
Let's
here,
go over to
ask for,
what I
the
think
form that they have that's for
is a
correspondence.
new
And you can write down
called
when setting this
CTAC,
case, will you please schedule it for a Monday? because that's
municipal court
be able to have a ride.
Okay.
Okay.
So they'll schedule.
with Pauline, who doesn't even call herself a judge.
Video court. Sounds like a show we're going to produce for Spike Network.
Chris Woodbugger, thank you for the 5 bones.
And I will call Bishop and let him know you said, hey.
Boy, we can't.
Oh, you thought it was bad on mine?
I just think it wasn't turned up.
Just give me a second. You just give me a second. I'll take care of that.
I had to crank it up too.
Oh, okay.
Brent, thank you. You can pull. The only way we can get it is if you go back on our.
We have to watch ourselves. That's just.
No refunds, Brent.
And bill will remain
0.
And what day is the court setting her return?
June 3rd. That's a Friday, 2 weeks from now.
Charlie, welcome. Happy Friday.
My recollection is he's been in court before, but it's not showing up on his DCH.
Your Honor, I do, in this court, I've never had him in, I've never spoken with him before today. It's always been a refusal.
Okay, my only recollection was of his claiming that he owned the airport, and that a different individual then made the
He
statement.
owned the airport?
And Your Honor, I very well may be mistaken, but I do not recall ever meeting with him.
I don't know what's better, claiming to own an airport or claiming to own the like the one over at 3B that claimed to own the gas station that he went into every day and stole coffee. And
In order just to appoint the public defender.
By the way, why is Pauline there?
Docket that.
Why is she blurry, but the background is clear? It's usually the other way
All right,
around,
and the
isn't
last
it?
matter is Mr. Abernathy.
Yes, Your Honor, and that is City of SeaTac versus Daryl Harris Abernathy, Y21023363. I spoke with Mr. Abernathy, prepared for arraignment. He was too ill to proceed, so he requested that I
Creed,
over until
when
Monday.
you switch over to this other one I have,
Sign an FTA for speedy purposes.
tell me if
He does
didn't you
qualify.
think this person was bald immediately? We're going to go to Judge Unknown Henson.
Oh no!
They have to figure out a different way to punish and control them, and so they will often use third parties. So that's why children are often.
Doesn't
put
that
at
look like a
increased
bald
risk
person
when
right
there's a
down there?
separation, because abusers will use them as
I mean-
sources of information and ways to
Look at the judge's hair.
treat them poorly so that the victim suffers, that kind of thing.
Judge
Both
Unknown
children
Henson,
are often
everybody.
the proxies that are used. Domestic violence proxy is picking a third party.
CFO.
Giving misinformation to school personnel or to members of the community of faith or to CPS or to court personnel is another way of discrediting them and hoping that
Judge
those
Unknown
third
Hinton right
parties
here.
will believe their lies, often their lies, and will punish
I
the
mean,
victim
as
by-
much as I love CPS stuff, I'm not sitting there listening. That I just wanted to show you the bald woman.
Direct appointed. Okay, I think that's all good.
It's all good.
And our last matter is the real. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, and just to put on the record, so I spoke with the jail today. They said that they went over an email chain regarding what kind of happened, and so she is an ad set.
I ain't afraid of your husband, baby. I'll be over tonight.
She's not eligible to be transported by county staff to RJC.
That's all you get.
SCORE would pick her up from
the hits.
So the only way to get her here would be.
I got small claims court, Creed.
Let's do that. This sorry, not a winner.
Mary doesn't have a camera, so she's not able to show
Who
herself.
are you asserting is saying this?
It was on the website when they were advertising the home. I think it was through Remax or something like that.
Who is doing this?
Whoever was advertising the home.
Oh,
We
so
talked to
are
the
you
real estate.
suing that? See, my question is, you're suing Rico Anderson, you're suing ANC Property Services. So are you saying
Why is
that they
Don
created
sitting in
this
such
website and created this?
a dark room? By the way, that lady was not
I don't
bald.
understand what you're trying
Her
to
hair
get
was
at.
slicked back
The
and
real
so
estate
tight
person, I'm
and
assuming
white.
under their.
That she was
I-
bald.
Obviously, it's just an assumption on my part. When they were advertising the home, they were adding our property on to their advertisement for the home.
Hello. You. God
No,
bless you.
We have since clarified with the real estate person that is not part of his access, that they have their own lake lot.
Okay, so the realtor is not
I
named.
feel like
so
Don
that
is the most depressed
information
man on the planet.
About what the realtor did or didn't do, I'm not quite sure the relevance of that. That's what I'm asking.
Rico's got a nice house, huh?
Well, I don't know if it does. I'm just saying
Whatever
that
he does, I want to do it.
it appears as though he was trying to advertise our properties being
He's in
part
real
of
estate.
the
That's the client's house.
property of the home he was selling. But like I said, we have since corrected the real estate and they have corrected their update information. So it may not be pertinent, but
Shane
I
O'Mac.
put that in there.
Okay. So, Mr. Cole, anything else?
Yeah, I guess if you just
Gary
look
Coleman.
at exhibit D1,
Fun. All right.
again, the fence is really on the Woodridge property by a few inches at this point in time. This is what we put up.
Oh no, are we talking about
You can
fences again?
see the nuded slope in the foreground, and in the back, you can see what it all used to look like. Providing a nice park-like setting, providing privacy, and protecting the slope from erosion. Everything it was supposed to be doing there. So that's just, I think, just clearly shows that again we're on Woodridge property. So just last.
Debbie, there's somebody in your house that just
Yeah,
seen him
I wanna
behind
show
you.
All right. Is Lewis?
Debbie.
Debbie Louise.
And I couldn't hear you, but it looked like you said no.
Sorry, we were talking.
No,
Judge.
no, I don't have anything else to
apologize.
add.
Sorry, Judge.
So we still have Miss Rabich, Mr. Cole. Anything you want me to ask, hear from her about?
Look at the name of this title. Number 17. Let's see what we got.
Okay, don't leave. We've got to stay here.
Is anything happening though? I'm not sure. Oh,
there's Judge.
Judge
Perfect
Philip,
time.
ladies and gentlemen.
Philip is here.
Court's on the record calling cause 44400.
A lot of
Is
humidity where Brandy's at today.
Michael's about to shoot a rap video.
Filed suit for modification much to confirm support arrears.
I was telling Mikey about it. They're being a little hush hush, but lots of strikes against channels.
Hearing was held in July.
Talk about that real quick. That's something that we told you in the beginning of this, the Johnny Depp trial about licensing and things that can happen. I think that I think that they have started to put the hammer down. They talked about it a little bit on Rakita Law late last night, is on live. And they were talking about it, but they kind of moved on about it, not saying much, but a lot of channels got a lot of strikes on YouTube, which is very, very bad for your channel. Very bad, as we have already learned our lesson, and that is part of why we didn't partake. They're getting videos taken down, so they're getting copyright claims and strikes against your channel. You get so many, you're gone. Your channel
3 and it disappears.
Gone.
Permanently deleted.
They did mention about one person that they knew that got 2 strikes a little bit earlier in the evening. So we'll see what happens when court resumes. There's only one more week left, so maybe they'll make it happen. But yeah, that's one thing that we just can't do it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And the father, Michael Ensor, is present via Zoom. Mr. Ensor, are you ready to proceed? You need to unmute your device, sir.
Pretty sure that's not his device, but we'll go with
Is
that.
Brandy on the phone?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
She's busy lady.
Mr. Ensor, Ms.
She's a
Eden,
world traveler. Don't you see that map behind her?
Do each of you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're going to offer in the case on trial before the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes, sir. Ms. Eden,
Oh my God, yeah. Brent, that guy, he does look a bit like Joe Rogan.
My coordinator informs me that everything is disputed. Ms. Hubbard, why don't you tell me what the evidence is going to show?
Everything? Okay.
The evidence is going to show that I believe Mr. Ensor is going to testify that he is disputing the amount of rears. He was not made aware of the divorce decree.
Please do, Billy. That'd be awesome.
I believe the evidence will show that Miss Eden has insurance through another source still. It costs her $0, but she is in opposition to the state's request to modify child support and medical support to $0 while Mr. Ensor is incarcerated.
Yeah, they will. Right over to We Got to Chase. Yeah, those got to be comfortable.
Oh, beautiful.
They're either.
I thought they were sinks at first. I'm not gonna lie.
I know. They're either super cold or scalding hot. They don't do well outside.
You have 2 children with Mr. Ensor?
Yes, ma'am.
And you carry insurance through your husband's work for both of those children?
Yes, ma'am.
That's bro joking.
Insurance doesn't cost you anything, correct?
No, ma'am, it does not.
And your main concern is just making sure that we change the insurance source so that the state of Texas stops trying to make you enroll them on your job's insurance. Is that right?
Chinese food.
Yes, ma'am.
As far as the rears go,
Oh no, he's in the rears.
without getting into things that are not pled for today, did you ever have any money? Did Mr.
That's how
Ensor
filters
give
used to
you
look in the
money,
90s.
Directly to
Early-
you
early
from the
thousands.
state disbursement unit?
No, ma'am.
Benches are probably
Did
used
you
as
provide
urinals,
anything for the
Pamela.
children directly and not through the state disbursement unit?
No, ma'am.
It's pretty bad when the prison has better cameras than the lady on the outside.
I explained to you that the state is asking to modify child support and medical support due to Mr. Ensor being.
By the way, what is an
Do you
AAG?
feel it's in the best interest of your children if we were to
Assistant,
support medical support zero?
Assistant to the assistant.
Why is that?
Guard. Oh, guard. Sure. Thought squishy gardener for a
An
second.
adult, you should provide for your children. Your actions, whether they be legal or illegal.
Isn't she a little old for him?
I was gonna say they're not lovers, are they?
Yeah, she's got kids with them.
Their support.
Assistant to the attorney general. Okay.
Assistant to the
I'd like
assistant.
an offering and evidence states exhibit 1 a pay record for Mr. Ensor.
Ms. Eden, do you have any objection to the court looking at payment history in this case?
I'll take that as a compliment.
We're coming on tour in Denmark very soon, so be sure you get your tickets now.
No, sir. Case 1 is admitted.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Creed,
my-
I'm getting word it's
shut
assistant
down. I'm looking
attorney
for
general.
the pleadings in this case. I don't know if we asked for non-disclosure.
Could be, Jen. We might be
Um,
dealing with a.
Miss Eden, are you asking that
Okay.
your address or phone number be kept out of this order?
Yes.
Okay. Has there been a prior history of harassment, abuse, or any harm between you and Mr. Enser?
Yes, ma'am.
It's not the
Can you
grandma.
report why you think that your information being in the order would cause you to be harmed?
Uncertainty due to use of illegal substances, not knowing one's mindset. I just don't want any possible problems.
Okay.
She said they had,
If there's
altercations
been
in the
problems
past.
between you two in the past, can you give an example to the court of what that might consist of?
Always am gay. We'll go with Pamela.
One time my wrist was broken.
Broke her wrist.
Home.
Oh.
While under the influence.
Of what?
The drugs.
Were the police called in those instances?
No, ma'am, because my divorce was almost final and I did not need anything to stand in the way.
They were married.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell the court today?
He should claim insanity
Not
for
really.
sleeping with her.
I have raised my children without the help of Mr. Enser. My kids have a good life.
We have several world maps in our home. We're doing well.
There's a Laura Hubbard that
Your Honor, I did find our pleading, and it did plead.
is an Olympian, and it's the first transgendered Olympian.
I passed
Power
it.
lifter.
Laura Hubbard. I don't think it's her though.
Do you have any questions for Ms.
I
Eden?
wish it was.
But yes, you guys are right. I searched her name,
Sorry to be honest, Ms. Eden.
and that is what it is.
Been a good
Assistant
brother as far as
Attorney
I've
General.
known.
Gold star for
Been
everybody.
in and out of prison my whole adult life. I'm just gonna go ahead and lay it on
Sometimes
the
I
line,
click
Your
gut
Honor.
things and don't read them.
I go to trial on August 14th, and we're pretty sure I'm getting a life sentence this time.
And then got married.
You know, I can come in here and say anything I want. You know,
I can come here and say and do anything I want.
I can't break into my own home, first off, because there's a long story behind it. Just change the locks when I come home from work.
Oh, feel free. Tell us a story. I got all day.
Still, I was escorted off the property by the sheriff's department. That's in the
You
past.
can't break into your own place.
Okay, Mr. Enser, if you have no questions for Ms. Eden.
Both of these people don't have very good, like whenever you say something, you should have something to back that up.
Yeah, it's just all
Just kind of throwing some insults
Been
out,
in jail,
hoping something sticks.
currently.
Currently, I've been here about 9 months now.
Ooh.
In the
How long you
last,
got?
probably the last 23 years, I've probably been locked up 17 or 18 years of that.
Oh, so you're a good dude.
Huh?
Oh,
Okay, 20.
you understand that nothing has been filed today to contest the validity of the
He
divorce.
said he was 23 years old, and he's been locked up at least 17
You
of those
understand that
23
nothing's
years.
been
Correct?
filed today to contest the divorce decree that was entered.
It's his Mikey math. He's not
back
very
in
good.
2007, I think. You understand that? But you're wanting to ask the court to not take a judgment today because of you contest those arrears.
Agreed if I my math is
Yes, ma'am.
correct.
I agree.
He's been locked up since he was 6 years old, basically.
I have no way. I have no way of getting a lawyer. My family doesn't talk to me anymore, and I don't get a indigent lawyer because it's a child support case. So I really don't know what to say. We're doing this.
Brooklyn, tonight, look up Love After Lockup and watch an episode, and you'll understand it a little bit better.
Is there any chance we can find out how old she
Child
is?
support
I pity the
and
fool.
medical support at zero while you're incarcerated.
Dude.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. If that's what y'all feel be the best. I mean, I just want the best for Miss Eden. She was a good wife whenever we were together. I mean, we all have our faults. It takes two.
She
to
cooked
tango.
for me.
It
She
worked
rubbed
out.
my feet,
But,
shaved my head.
As far as I know, they live a good life. I haven't had contact with my children since my son was 5 years old.
Me and my son grew up together.
When the divorce was going on, I don't know how the divorce, they set like an amount because I worked for my uncle and I made like $12 an hour maybe.
That might be what he meant to say, but I don't think he said that.
I guess it's kind of a.
I could be wrong.
Not really that good of a job.
She's a trial bride, is what you're
in
saying.
Johnson County Jail for 9 months. When does your case go to trial again?
We go to trial, they set trial for August 14th now. They set
Yeah.
trial for November 14th.
I think
I go back for one.
Kids might have been from another baby mama, Rosa Cheeks. I just guessing
Do you
it.
expect that you're going to remain incarcerated during that time between your status trial and the?
Oh yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
Hearing or the
I
trial?
love it here.
Yes, Your Honor. I live here now.
I'm probably never coming home.
Never.
Anything else you'd like to tell the court today?
Jesus.
I'd just like to do the best we can. Let's just kind of try and take care of this as best we can. That way, Miss Edie, we can proceed with our lives.
How's he paying? How's he gonna pay child support or anything else, or provide?
He's locked up.
Anything?
Does he have questions for Mr. Ensor?
He's got a job in there.
Yes, I'm staying here probably for the rest of my life because
I prefer men.
Yeah, there's a lot of them around.
I'm remarried, Your Honor, in here.
Can I ask one question?
Oh, please.
Yes, please go ahead.
I know I haven't been a good dad. I've had nothing with children. Me and Brandy, we didn't really get along very well after into that divorce. I've never even got to have a picture of my children. Or even write them. Whatever it is it takes to get where maybe Miss Eden would some point in time be interested in allowing me the opportunity to have some kind of contact with them while incarcerated. I mean, I'm probably not coming home.
Oh, see, I'm running my mouth. I didn't even hear it, Mohawk.
Whatever I need to do to
Makes sense.
maybe have some kind of contact with them, if she would have mercy on me, I'll do it. I mean, I'm not going to pay her money. I don't make no money.
I mean, this seems like a little bit of a waste of time. If he's be in the clink for the rest of his life, potentially. So she's basically trying to get money out of him, right?
And something to do with some insurance, health insurance. This is him when he was a little kid in prison.
That's when he was 5.
Still
when
in
he was
diapers.
6,
Still in
whatever.
diapers, yes. Yeah.
So they must have had children together.
Yeah. It's, I mean, what can we do to him? You know what I'm saying? What we could do? He doesn't.
Yeah,
so he doesn't do anything. I'm very confused at this point. I thought he was going to ask her to flash her jugs one last time.
Wow, that's a cup made for a trucker.
Also made for any Pizza Hut back in 1991.
I was going to say that is the XXL version.
Mhm.
Pizza Hut.
It does not appear to me that there's really much point in doing anything today.
I think we figured that out before you, Judge.
Yeah.
Those Pizza Hut cups, it's kind of like you grab a cup of stained glass, basically. That was the texture.
Given Mr. Ensor's
On some of them.
status, there's a temporary order in place that addressed the health insurance issues so that Ms. Eden can continue to insure through another source. Mr. Ensor has no income, hasn't had income for at least 9 months. So there's no way to set support. He's $100,000+ in arrears. And I don't see a way to address that. I can't look at the divorce decree today because of the technology issues that I'm having. So what the court is going to do is reset
His internet's out.
to November 18th, 2022 at 11 o'clock in the morning. Well, I haven't decided how I'm going to do that.
If he wasn't, let's just pretend that he wasn't going to potentially be in for the rest of his
I'm
life.
just going to reset it to November 18th.
It would make sense to go in and get kind of a judgment, right? Because then if you were to get out and get a job, then that's already on the books, in other words.
Yeah.
Trial, if it goes.
$100,000 in the rears.
Can't have it. That's why he wants us to stay in jail. I mean,
and where's his health insurance that what's he got to do with it?
Judge, tell me that you have Spectrum without telling me that you have Spectrum.
Technology issues.
I would like to make you aware that one of the children in this has turned 18 and will be graduating on the 27th of this month.
Congratulations.
Mazel tov.
To him. And I say that sincerely because my son is graduating from high school tonight. And that's fine. The amount of the support.
Is he trying to tell us something?
The divorce decree says the amount of support will automatically.
Yeah,
His
he's
kid?
flexing right back at her. Yes, so I got one graduating tonight, bitch.
Oh.
Think about that, Credence.
I've had 6 before 2, Your Honor.
So
now what?
Ms. Hubbard,
now what you got? You want to one up me?
Come on, you one up and son of a bitch.
It will be a Zoom hearing.
Or November
18th at 11. You'll use the same Zoom code to get in, the same meeting ID. Mr. Ensor, you're in.
No, I mean, he said potentially he's not ever getting out. So we must have, I think we missed a part.
He said never.
Yeah. So anyways, let's jump on to the next. That one's
The prior conviction at this time.
What it is. There's
I
the
would
actor.
like to get it set aside because I'm currently working for an insurance agency and I've been there over 12 years. And they were bought out
Another
by
one flexing. Look at our table.
company.
Yeah, are they social
And they would
distancing
like
from
to
the
get
camera?
licensed. So in order to maintain my position and my salary, I need to be licensed in order to do that. Because if I cannot do it, my salary would go down almost 50%. And I have been working in the insurance industry for, about 15, 16 years.
Okay, very good.
Okay, I'll stay here.
That seems to be a totally legitimate reason. Mr. Lockman, do you have any questions for Ms. Flores at this time?
No, Your Honor.
And Ms. Wolanen, do you have any questions for your client at this time?
I do not, Your Honor.
Very good. Well, I have reviewed and Mr. Lockman, your office, as you stated earlier,
She want her
does not
license back?
oppose, this application.
That is correct.
Very good. When I did succeed in finding
That judge seems like
brief
a
that your office sent
a
over.
hard ass.
Well, having reviewed the documents, heard the testimony of Ms. Flores today, I am very pleased to set aside the conviction at this time. And the reason being that Ms. Flores doesn't have anything left over from her past, and she's made those changes that she needs to make, certainly understandable with the change of ownership of the insurance company. They might very well run a background check, and it's always nice to have a matter like this that happened long ago taken off the record as it should be. So very grateful to do that. And with my congratulations, Ms. Flores, and my thanks to Ms. Wolanen for your assistance in getting this accomplished. You're very, it's always inspiring to me to set aside convictions because they prove to me that people can make
So it's like
positive
a
changes in their life, and you're a living example of that, Ms. Flores.
it's like having
So
some
thank you.
expunged from your record. Is that basically what they're wanting?
Very good. And I think do we have an order on that one, Denise?
I don't have an order.
We need to sign. Mr. Lockman or Ms. Wolanen, who's going to send one over to me?
I'm happy to prepare an order and send it to your office, Your Honor.
It's a hell of a table, isn't it, John Cook?
If we have two, we'll make sure we
One
only sign one of
solid
them. So,
slab
and
of
just as a
granite.
alert to Ms. Flores, though I will enter the order and it will be effective as of the
Oh
date
no,
I
you're
sign
right
it.
on time.
What we do from here is we submit it over to the state police so they can take the record out of lien. However, sometimes that there's a
We
time lag of
appreciate
up
it.
to 3 weeks for that to happen. Further, when an employer
Yeah,
runs
it's
a
like,
background check, I've learned sometimes they're not going directly to lien. They're using another party that copies liens information and in effect runs their own background check, and it takes them even longer to get updated. So if you run into a situation where that's
if that
still
room could only
showing,
have a few more lights,
more than 6 weeks or so down the road, just submit a copy of that order to the company and say, hey, I have taken the legal steps to resolve this, and here's proof of it. So it does sometimes take a little while.
doesn't the
to filter
business
its way
think,
through the whole
oh,
system.
now you're just trying to hide it from us that you were one time.
Very good. I wish you the best of luck going forward. And again, congratulations.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Oh, I need to cut my grass too, Nancy, but I'm like, no. Oh, is that Dog the Bounty Hunter?
This is 94-00642 FHA, State of Michigan
Bruce
versus
Block.
Leland Cause.
Very good. And this matter is before the court. Remind me, Mr. Block, what is this one up for today? Let me pull the file out here. Is this a set aside as well?
This is a set aside, yeah.
Oh,
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon. This is before me this afternoon on an application to set aside a previous conviction. Mr. Lockman, would you put your appearance on the record for the people?
Claire Lockman for the people.
Very good. And Mr. Block.
Thank you. I would like to take brief testimony from my client, Judge.
Yeah, no, let me swear him in, and then I've got a couple of
that's a
standard
great one.
questions I ask.
Who doesn't
and
wanna
then
see
I'll
that?
Allow you to fire, Mr. Block. So, Mr. Hans, if you'd raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear or affirm that your testimony today will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes,
Doctor.
Very good. And you can lower your hand. Would you be so good as to spell your name for the record?
First name is Leland, Leland. Last name is Hawes, Hawes.
Thank you
Is there
very
any
much.
way
And Mr.
Bruce
Hawes,
Block doesn't have like a cover
as
band?
of today, are you aware of any financial
Striper cover band, maybe?
obligations that date back to the previous conviction that you still owe?
No.
Very good. And as we sit here today, are you aware of any cases, warrants, or charges that are pending against you in the state of Michigan?
No, Your Honor.
And finally, why are you looking to set this aside today?
I'm looking to set it aside because it's been 27 years and I've become a member of the community in Greenville, an official with the DDA, and I'd like to pursue a little bit farther to supporting my community.
Outstanding. Very good. Do you have some
So
questions? as
these are all
well,
people
Mr. Block?
wanting these things taken off their record.
Yeah, briefly. Mr. Hawes,
Creeds and pajamas, by the way, guys.
these are your only two felony convictions, is that correct?
Yes.
And these two felonies occurred at the same time or out of the same case?
Correct,
So-
yes.
So they occurred within 24 hours of each other?
What did he do? What did he
And
do?
you never filed a petition to set them aside before?
No.
You haven't filed any other petitions to set anything else aside?
No.
There's no criminal charges pending?
No.
Actually, I think Judge Rossi asked you that. You had an assault and battery in 2002, which happened after you got out of jail on this one. Can you tell the judge briefly what happened?
Yes, I was currently going through a divorce and my ex-wife at the time was antagonizing me into an argument and I finally had enough and I threw an empty Subway cup.
Dress up for
And
you
so
guys,
she
don't
pressed charges against me and
You pled guilty to
I
that
pled
charge?
guilty, yes, I did.
Subway
That happened in 2002?
Yes.
And in 2001, you had a driving without a license or suspended?
I don't even remember that. I didn't even know that occurred, to be honest with you.
Okay. And the judge asked you
What?
why you were looking to set this aside. I guess maybe the first question is why now?
Why now is because I'm looking to get more involved into the community. Like I stated, I'm part of the
Sleepover, baby.
Downtown District
That's right.
Association with Greenville, Michigan. I sit on the board of that.
Hey, it's a long day. I'm not leaving the house
I've
till
really
tonight.
become very intrigued in helping the community. So I'd like to further that aspect of it, but this has been such a burden on the aspect of that I really can't pursue anything further.
This is that a burden on my ass?
The felony conviction is keeping you from holding
Yes,
other
correct.
jobs or applying for other jobs?
Yes.
And has this affected your ability to get jobs for the last 27 or 8 years?
Yes, it has affected certain jobs for me to get.
And before last year, you weren't eligible to set these aside, were you?
Correct. According to the new law, I am eligible, so I'm trying to take advantage of that as much as I can.
And so essentially what you're looking for is a clean start or a fresh start?
Yes, I am 100%. 27 years. I'm just ready to put it behind me and move on with my life.
And tell the judge briefly, what did you do employment-wise
With the body
after you got out of jail on this offense in '95? just not a half an hour, just a very brief nutshell. What have you done work-wise?
Work-wise, I learned how to do a skill trade, which is the HVAC industry. I started a company, and because it was really hard to get jobs when you apply, so I had to apply myself to able to provide for my family, my wife, and my family.
And you had difficulty getting jobs because you were a felon.
Correct.
Just to clarify that.
Damn, hope they get the
see
W.
judge nodding his head there, but
Yeah.
And finally, you are asking the judge to grant your petition. Is that right?
Yes, please.
Judge,
I'm begging, Your Honor. Begging.
John Cole.
Lockman does.
Mr. Lockman, any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Very good. And I do not have any additional questions at this time. Mr. Blanc, you covered those admirably. And I have read the application materials.
Listen to the judge talk while I show you this picture and think of this guy.
Mr. Blanc, and I will be glad to set aside the 2 old
Leon from
convictions.
Roseanne.
My congratulations.
Martin
Swear
Muller,
you're
everybody.
living proof to me and for that matter, everyone else out in the community that you can make a mistake a long time ago and then turn things around.
Emotional.
And I mean, it's really to your credit. You're a business owner, and on top of that, part of your motivation
chain of
here is
subways
to give
now.
something back to the community that you work and live in. And boy, I can't think of any better way to live as a citizen than to do those things. So I am extremely happy, grateful for all the work that you've put in, because I know it's not easy to make changes, but you're a shining example of the way a person can remarkably turn things around in your life. So thank you for being an inspiration, and my congratulations. Mr. Block, are you going to send over an order?
Yes.
Thank you for the
sent one
stars.
over.
It's
It should
always,
be in the file, Judge.
Victoria, I think.
Very good.
We're doing this on Zoom. I normally I would bring it with me, but I sent it over, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So it'd be in the file.
Understood. Well, and then I am positive that my very efficient clerks will have it downloaded.
I feel like the judge could tell us one hell of a story about the old West.
Process along a little faster, so I will get that signed as soon as I
can tell that he likes to tell stories.
And it will enter into the lien system after we sign it and send it out. Sometimes the lien system at the state police takes a little longer to reflect the setting aside. It can take 2 or 3 weeks to reflect that. So just to be aware that it won't be instantaneous. The order is effective instantaneously, but it takes administrative folks a little bit of time to catch up and actually take the record out of the electronic database. So but I am very glad that it's getting done. And again, congratulations to you, Mr. Hawes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Judge.
Very good. Great to see you, Mr. Block.
Same here.
You got that gangsta lean creed. I mean, I like that idea, but it seems like that guy had to wait a long time to. Oh, unknown's back again.
I'm not sure what's going on over here at Calhoun 37.
Well, I mean, we were just there a few minutes ago.
Oh, we were?
Yeah, there's unknown Henson right there.
Oh, Jesus.
There's
I'm
the
losing
lady
my
with
mind.
the head.
Prevent that. It would be giving, is the
We're talking about
experts, they would give legal
child.
custody to the non-offending.
Oh, yeah, we don't like
That's the
that.
patterns.
And kind of sort of Kid Rock,
On
too.
Mr. Wright's appeal of a determination by
Friday.
the Secretary of State and its administrative
Set aside.
law judge denying reinstatement of a restricted or unrestricted driver's license. So at this time, I would invite council to place your appearances on the record. We can begin with Mr. Lockman.
Blair Lockman for the people.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jason Barracks on behalf of Mr. Wright, Your Honor.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Barracks. Mr. Barracks, I have read and reviewed your brief on the matter. And my understanding is that you say the reason I should set this aside is because I should find that the hearing officer made an error of law and applied the wrong section and perhaps even the wrong burden of proof to your client at the conclusion of the hearing. Is that right?
I think that's one issue, Your Honor. The other issue is that
91.
when we requested the hearing, he was set back to denied revoked status for a major violation. The minor violations would have only called for an extension of the period on the interlock device. And so what the hearing officer here did was, based on a major violation, which was explained with a PBT test,
he loved free
overlooked
will.
that and went to these minor violations, which were more than a year before. Not only that, the standard for setting aside a violation is a preponderance of the evidence, which we met, and yet he used that Rule 13, which
Feels like what, 110?
so he
103.
applied a much higher burden to the client, as well as it had been more than a year that my client had sobriety. We asked to have a full hearing. He just simply refused. My client was eligible for a hearing
Seriously,
because
it does
more than
look
12
like
months had passed
Yeah, it's
of sobriety.
killer whale
So he was
jumping
eligible
over
for a full hearing.
the
The
Golden
hearing
Gate
officer
Bridge.
just simply flat out refused to hear that issue. And instead of extending the period of time on the minor violations as set forth in the administrative rules, he simply put them back to denied revoked. A minor violation does not get one back to denied revoked.
My God, look where Stewart is zooming in from.
Oh my gosh, the lush valleys of
Understood.
Columbia.
Understood. And in this case, the major violation was the failure to do what they call a rolling retest, which he should be able to do immediately after a positive blow, but because of some mechanical error in the BAIID machine, that didn't happen.
That's correct.
Ooh, let's see what we got going on over here in this court.
Oh, hell yeah.
Based on your training, do the standards prescribed by the
Over
National
to
Highway
Ashley Court.
Safety Administration require
Is that an
or
address or
that
what?
Ford place
It's called
12
Isabella
AC
Court.
lights
Ashley
turned off?
Isabella Court.
It's not a requirement, it's a recommendation.
Are we watching a video of this dude's tick marks on his junk like Knox?
Not a standard.
Tick marks, you don't stop.
Must follow.
Correct.
What is a horizontal gaze nystagmus?
It's an involuntary jerking motion of the eyes.
Oh, wait now.
And
A couple different things.
Old jerking eye.
Most predominant one is subjects under the influence of alcohol and other depressants. Certain medical conditions will cause it, and head trauma will cause it.
It's a good way to wake up.
Before beginning,
If you have to jump to mine, I'm on BRB. It's already ready to go if you have to.
Do your thing. Now we can see the little cord up the corner. Sorry, I had the logo over it.
is she just to follow your finger with her eyes or her whole head?
I continued with the instructions, and I instructed for her to follow my finger with her eyes and eyes only without turning her head.
Is Miss Lindsay wearing eyeglasses?
No.
What all are you looking for during this test?
You start out looking for equal pupil size and equal tracking. Then you look for lack of smooth pursuit. You look for distinct and sustained nystagmus at maximum deviation. You look for the onset of nystagmus prior to 45 degrees, and then you finish by looking for vertical gaze nystagmus.
What observations did you make of Miss Lindsay while performing this test?
Her eyes were still glassy. She had lack of smooth pursuit in both eyes, distinct and sustained nystagmus at maximum deviation in both eyes, and the onset nystagmus prior to 45 degrees in both eyes.
According to
This guy's pretty precise, isn't he?
Clues are possible in a horizontal gaze nystagmus?
6.
How many clues did you observe of Miss Lindsay?
6.
Let's play this up until.
That was loud.
I'll get a drink tonight.
Not that much, honestly.
But not that much.
I believe it's one line per hour.
Okay. So you stopped past the crosswalk at Broomfield and Mission, and then you went off the road, and then you go left of center on the divider line for your 2 lanes. Any reason for that?
Well,
How tall is you at? Like one bottle of wine?
No, just like the one line cooler.
Only one little wine cooler.
Why?
Can you step outside and make sure you're safe to drive?
She's 17?
Go ahead, come back this way.
No.
Do you have any medical conditions they know about?
No, not at all.
Okay. Just stand right there and face me. Feet together, hands down to your side. I want you to follow my finger with your eyes and eyes only without moving your left finger. Okay? Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
One wine cooler, Your Honor. Do you think that she locked her keys in her car? It beeped like it locked, and I think the car's still running. Wouldn't that be hilarious? Right, Walter.
No, I don't know.
Drunken Zoom court drama. Where's that dude creeping in from? What's he got behind his back?
Feel my fingers now outside your shoulder.
Yeah.
Got a drunk. Oh, he doesn't have his headphones. She
Go put your right foot in front of your
said
left
she
foot.
only had one wine cooler.
Well,
Completing the horizontal.
she didn't say how big it was.
Did you complete another portion of the test?
Sobrieties, yes.
Did you complete a vertical?
Yes.
Gaze nystagmus?
I did.
Gosh.
And what is the
We're
purpose?
dirt cheap. That's how we work.
Thank you, T.
If you witness the vertical gaze nystagmus, most likely it's the most intoxicated that subject's ever been.
Wow.
It's very rare to see.
Whoa. What's she below?
I don't think that they said yet, or we missed it in the beginning. Because we did kind of just
Completing the horizontal gaze.
Slide in.
What was the second?
What's up, Walter?
Right test you administered?
The walk and turn.
Yeah, that was weird how he kind of walked in with that behind his back.
Yes.
Kind of odd.
What were the instructions that you provided?
She
So I
looks
start
dangerous.
with placing them in
Come
the
on.
instructional position, which is putting their right foot in front of their left foot.
This cop is very thorough, by the
Keeping
way.
their arms out at their side, and then once they obtain that position, they're instructed to stay in that position until I tell them to begin. And then I provide additional instructions.
What are the additional instructions you give after putting them in the?
Somebody told her black was very
So I
slimming.
instruct for them to take 9 heel-to-toe steps down in a straight line. I tell them on their 9th step, they'll take a series of small steps, turn around and walk 9 heel-to-toe steps back. What I then do is I demonstrate and I do 3 heel-to-toe steps. And I explain to them they're going to go all the way up to 9 steps. I demonstrate the turn. I do 3 steps back to where I began. And again, tell them that they're going to do 9 steps.
Then you do the cha-cha-cha.
When I'm done with that, I tell them, once they start the test, don't stop until they're done.
Don't
They're
stop
in-
till you get enough.
Well, they do the
And turn yourself around, and that's what it's all about.
out loud and
That's what I've heard.
And then I typically ask if they have any questions, and I tell them they can begin.
In the present case, did you demonstrate to Miss Lindsay how this test is?
I'm a way bigger fan of Tennessee tuxedo.
Nothing to be confused about. Not an answer. Just explaining that
Looking for
and they're going each step of this. So now we're going to see the next test.
Technical jargon here.
And she's drunk.
As a skunk.
She didn't have just one wine cooler. Don't be confused.
She may have, Creed, and it was as big as a 10-gallon drum.
But somebody said in the comments, I forget who you were, sorry, that it was one of those giant, the cup that we just saw, the Pizza Hut cup. It was one of those wine coolers.
And use surveillance. There's 8.
Are your observations or?
Don't you get immediately arrested if you don't take it, though?
Yes.
What are those 2 phases?
There's the instruction.
Yeah, and then they take you in and book you in, and then you got to get the blood, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they call the second phase, but once they begin the evaluation.
How many clues are you looking for in the instructional phase?
2.
And how
Blues
many
Clues.
looking for in the walking phase?
6.
That's right. We learned that during Thirsty Thursday tomorrow. Or yesterday.
That'll show you.
Miss Lindsay demonstrate to me the clues in this case.
Yes,
Chris?
I did.
What are those?
She stepped off the line. She did not touch heel to toe. She stopped prior to completing the evaluation and used her arm surveillance.
Ed, are cops usually this thorough?
I don't know. I think it's just this guy. He's on it.
No.
He's basically a textbook explaining these things.
Like word for word, like what he was trained to say.
Yeah, because that's basically a time play, right?
It gives yourself enough time to process a little bit of that alcohol.
Just like what I'm doing.
Oh, here we
Step
are.
out of the road though. Other right foot first. Stay like that until I tell you to begin, okay?
Michael,
When
you
I tell
go
to
get
step,
it.
I want you to walk 9 heel-toe steps down in a straight line. On your 9th step, you'll take a series of small steps, turn around and walk 9. 1, 2, 3, up to 9. There's small steps. 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 9. Once you start, don't stop till you're done. Look at
I would just say I was ignorant. Don't know how to count.
Look at your feet. Don't stop until you're done. Count your steps out loud.
I'm indigent,
Keep
your
arms
officer.
out to the side while you do that. All right,
Mr. Officer, I'm indigent.
You can begin whenever you're ready.
I'll start tomorrow once I'm sober.
Can we do these tests in a couple hours when I sober up, Your Honor?
Whenever you're ready. Just give me a little bit of time. Uh-oh.
A
little bit of a lean.
Oh, they just stopped it there.
I thought she's doing that thing out of the Smooth Criminal videos. Michael Jackson and everybody.
Oh, I thought I saw that on TikTok.
Before she completed the turn, and then when she did the actual turn, she stopped again prior to beginning her 9 steps back to where she began.
The turn is supposed to include a series of small steps.
Yes, it is.
Did you observe Miss Lindsay take a series of small steps?
I believe she spun on 1 foot.
Why wouldn't they just have her go ahead and blow before doing any of this other stuff? Cut to the chase.
I don't know. I always wonder that too. I don't understand.
I'm like really cool.
I mean, what if she aces these? then blows, and she's over.
What we just observed there was that observations of Miss Lindsay losing balance.
Yes, she stepped off the line and then she brought her hands away from her, using her arms for balance.
All right, now she turns around
Turn
halfway.
around, face the
Yeah.
car. We got one more to do. Feet together, arms down your side.
Oh, she only took a couple of steps.
My favorite one is they say, okay, we got one more thing to do. I want you to look up in the sky and put your arms out to the side, and they grab your hands and
Go
handcuff
behind you. Yeah. Real quick, guys, I want you to remember that today's We Got a Case is brought to you by the brand new jail phone with 5G. Now introducing with 5G. You got to upgrade, baby. That 4G ain't no good now.
Crystal clear conversations with every family member or homie at any time.
Thank you, Fred Franklin.
What are the instructions for the one leg stand?
When I tell them to begin, they will pick up the foot of their choice about 6 inches off the ground. When they do that, they're going to keep their foot parallel with the ground. They're going to look at their toe. They're going to count out loud 1001, 1002, 1003 until I tell them to stop. If they set their
All right, Ed. So you think that this that she's got a pretty good attorney, so he's basically being extra thorough and pointing out every little.
Were these instructions given to Miss Lindsay?
Yes, they were.
Do you demonstrate this test?
Yes, I do.
Did you demonstrate it to Miss Lindsay?
Yes, I did.
Save time. Do it to it.
During the one leg stand, what?
I think cause is you could just say you smelled it, can't you?
You're looking for visibly swaying, putting their foot down.
Fair to maintain lane, just a plethora of things they can hit you with.
Yeah, because no lie, I don't know how I do stone
She
sober.
was swaying.
And it looks cold out there.
One clue out of 4.
Correct.
I didn't see it in the advertisement, Viking, but I'll ask the creator.
Same thing. Don't start until I tell you to. When I tell you to begin this time, what I want you to do is pick up the foot of your choice about 6 inches off the ground. When you do that, you're going to keep your foot parallel with the ground. Keep both legs straight. Keep your arms down your side. Look at your toe. Count out loud. 1001, 1002, 1003. So on and so forth until I tell you to stop. If you touch your foot down, pick it back up and continue where you left off at, okay? You can begin whenever you're ready.
Shaking it off, getting ruined for go.
Oh yeah, getting a new boat.
To it. Nothing wrong with getting a new boat.
All right, you go ahead and stop.
You suck. Go ahead and stop.
All right, take a deep breath in.
All right, so now we're going to breathalyzer after all that.
Can you ask for that to happen?
Like, just skip it and let's go straight to the breathalyzer.
Yeah.
Do you have any training as to dealing with the continued passing of traffic? Are you taught to be observant about what's going on around you?
Yes.
Is your safety and the safety of the person you have out of the vehicle something that's always at the forefront, or?
Yes, that's why you watch the oncoming traffic while you're doing this stuff. Right.
During this video, we see you along the fog line. Is that what you're doing? Is
Constantly looking back at the oncoming cars.
Since there's not much on the screen, you guys want to just look at this until they start the video again, or
walk and turn and one-legged stand?
no?
Um,
Okay.
Are those considered divided attention tests?
Yes, they are.
And what's the purpose of having a divided attention test?
To see if the subjects can follow the instructions for the evaluations.
So if during this test, they're receiving multiple instructions and a car was to pass by them, is that an additional divided attention that the defendant would have to deal with?
Yes.
It also looks like it's freezing cold out there.
During the course of your 3 standard field
Yeah, there's quite a bit of snow on the ground. Roads are
only focus
pretty clear though.
on
It
the
looks.
clues that you're looking for each test, or are you constantly observing the subject, or in this case, the defendant?
You're constantly observing the subject for stuff that's not specific.
Piss bag of apple juice, of course.
So for instance, when you were given the HGN and you noted her glossy eyes?
That's an additional factor you're observing, but it's not a specific clue.
So in the course of your investigation, you were.
When I was looking for stuff for today's
everything
chase,
that
there's one where this guy gets tasered at a gas pump and catches fire.
Is it in Florida?
Yeah, but I didn't put it in because it is.
Observation of her driving the vehicle.
Florida Friday continues on members only tonight at 6 o'clock.
He's on fire and rolling on the ground. I'm sorry. Sorry.
I had reason to believe she was under the influence of some sort of substance.
And based on that totality of circumstances, did you believe, to clarify, you believed you had probable cause that Miss Lindsay's ability to operate that vehicle was impaired?
Yes, I did.
Did you require Miss Lindsay to submit
Real quick,
to
Mikey, just a side note.
Yes, I did.
Can you ask McDonald's
Do you recall what the result?
if we're ever on We Got a Case and we've got a video like this and we see a McDonald's, does that count or is that just for the chases?
Oh, let me write that down.
Yeah, just make sure to ask us.
Objection, the results of the PBT are inadmissible.
I was thinking that was a Taco Bell down there, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I was trying to figure it out.
Trial, but
I don't see it. I don't see a line of people getting Mexican pizza at the moment.
PBT itself and what flows from the PBT. I don't believe the admission of the acknowledging what the defendant's PBT was at the time of the incident is admissible.
There's some states that are like that, more than a few.
All right, so for the purposes of the evidence,
KFI.
the
Love KFI.
results
Handle
of
on the
the
law.
PBT are admissible, but I do think you're going to need to lay a foundation about how the PBT was taken in order to make them relevant at this point.
Okay.
So I'll overrule the objection.
Oh, I think Angela's right.
Mm.
I think you are right.
The more I look at it, the more I know Angela is correct.
In your training and experience, what is your understanding?
Well done, Angela.
of request an individual to take a preliminary breath test?
When you believe they're under the influence of alcohol or any drugs, really.
And can you articulate what reasonable cause you had?
If I had to sit in this courtroom, I'd shoot myself.
To administer a preliminary breath test.
So she had
Try to get
multiple
that
moving
bag.
violations when she was operating the motor vehicle. She had the
Got to get that money, son.
I'm sick of frozen foods in the microwave.
She admitted to drinking
want real
alcohol
groceries.
at some point in the night.
I made a Stouffer's meal in the microwave before the show. 7 minutes in the microwave, or your choice of 48 minutes in the oven.
One leg stand.
On a 94-degree day, let's pop that oven off.
Yes, turn it on for an hour.
I was hoping that we could see this video a little bit quicker. We're kind of getting to the end.
Yeah,
we're not going to see the end of this one.
Would you like to see my new friend, Mary Ann Shirley?
Yeah, let's do it.
She looks kind of like Jeffrey Dahmer, but feel free to check her out. Yeah.
No idea what she's charged with, what Mr. Cooley's charged with. But the bottom line is they have a relationship. They've had a relationship. They intended on getting married. So I would just ask the court to allow them to be able to sign those marriage certificates to perform
Of
that
course,
marriage.
by the way, there's old
I'm wondering
Double
if
J
there's
Jill up there. When I say
continuing
Double
to,
J, I'm in the size of her
require
brazier.
that. And furthermore, I don't know if Mr. Favre is aware of this or if even Mr. Cooley's aware of this. But I had a prelim last week, I believe it was, for an inmate having contraband, a camera in the county jail. And Mr. Cooley was one of the star performers in the pictures being taken with that camera that had been sneaked into the county jail. So I don't know if charges will result in that or not.
So Judge
That
Webster
does not
saw your
help his case
junk.
one bit.
I have no idea what that's about, Judge. So I guess you're catching me unawares here.
Well, it caught me unawares.
unawares.
I saw him pop up on the
You see Jill up there
evidence was
laughing?
being presented that had been taken photos and videos in the county jail.
Because she knows.
He can
Because
tell
she
you more
knows
about
that.
that privately.
Gotcha moment.
Okay, I'll see you gentlemen
Joseph
again
Faith.
July 1st at 1:30. We'll be in recess on the Cooley matter, and Mr. Cooley is remanded to the sheriff.
Yeah.
We will now be on the record in 2022 CR
I'm going
35,
back to
State
myself.
of Kansas versus Travis Marshall Euler. Please announce appearances.
Bueller.
May it please the court, the state appears by Jill Gillette, County Attorney.
May it please the court, Mr. Euler appears with Miss Shirley in her office. At this time, Your Honor, we are anticipating a plea offer has been made. There are a couple of things that need to be worked out, and I need to work on a motion, but I believe that this one, I believe that we can safely waive preliminary hearing at this time.
Just get comfortable here in Shirley's office.
Mr. Euler, the court is advised by
Euler?
your attorney that you wish to waive your right. to
Now look at
preliminary
that
hearing. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And
Wow,
before you
Chris,
waive your right, I need to determine that
that's
you
award-winning.
understand what's being waived and the consequences of your waiver.
Bueller.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do some waving.
Bueller. Bueller.
It is the
Bueller.
felony charges that entitle you to a preliminary hearing. You are looking at felonies, as I'm sure you know, in count one.
Jill is tickled today.
Criminal possession of a weapon
Jill's
by a felon.
drunk.
Count two, criminal possession of a weapon by a felon. Count three, possession of a weapon by a felon. Count four, criminal possession of a weapon by a felon. 5, same charge. 6, same charge. 7, same charge.
He's consistent, if anything.
Yeah,
else.
he's very consistent.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm aware.
And you,
Is that Screech from Saved by the Bell? Up in
And for the record,
right-hand
Your Honor,
corner?
he has a sentencing guidelines
I don't know,
in
but
front of
Screech has a
him,
porn I heard.
displaying the potential sentences that he could in fact incur in the event that he is convicted on these charges. He understands his right that a preliminary hearing is simply for the purpose of showing that there's probable cause to believe that an offense was committed and that he more likely than he committed the offense.
and you do understand that that, as your attorney just said, Mr. Euler,
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
and you understand at that preliminary hearing, you'd be able to, through your attorney, cross-examine witnesses, present your own evidence.
Bueller.
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And it would give you an opportunity to surmise the nature of the crimes charged, as well as the sort of evidence you'd be required to meet if you were to stand trial.
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand if you waive or give up your right to the preliminary hearing, there will be no preliminary hearing, and you will be bound over to the district judge for further
There
proceedings.
will be no dessert.
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
You'll be required to appear at a later date before the district judge for your arraignment, at which time you will enter your plea to the charges against you.
Yes, Your Honor.
And until that time, you will remain on bond until or unless that is revoked for violations.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, do you feel like you've had enough time to talk to your attorney before waiving your rights to a preliminary hearing?
Yeah,
Are you
yeah,
looking,
yes, I do.
Do you need any more time to visit with Miss Shirley before we proceed?
No, Your Honor.
And you still wish to waive your right to the preliminary hearing?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Are you voluntarily waiving this right?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
Has anyone made any threats or promises other than perhaps your plea agreement to cause you to waive your preliminary hearing?
No, Your Honor.
Are you in good health today?
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
all right.
Are you taking any medications which might impair your judgment?
No, I am not.
And Ms. Shirley, do you know of any reason why the court should not accept the defendant's waiver?
No, Your
Hey,
Honor, I don't.
Creed, we have a
Ms.
chase.
Gillette, does the state
do?
wish to waive its
Yep.
right to a
All right,
preliminary
guys,
hearing?
we'll jump
waives
off,
its
jump
right to a
back on.
preliminary
See you
hearing,
in
Your
a couple of
Well, the court
minutes.
Thank you,
finds
guys.
the state of Kansas has waived its right to a preliminary hearing. The court further finds the defendant has made a knowing